Hi guys, I'm Ezelle from the
Hello.
upcoming. It's lovely to speak to you today. Congratulations on this fantastic series. Perhaps you could start by telling us a little bit about what viewers can expect when they step into this. What is Those About to Die series about?
I think we follow a guy named Tenax, who's the owner of a betting tavern. And through him, we can see what was Rome at the time, from emperor to the people actually living in Rome, to all the background of the big spectacle that were the gladiator games and the chariot races, horse races. Because in the end, everything and everyone gathered at the betting tavern.
It should be called Tenax and his Tavern. But I think what to add to that, I would say it's that it's yeah, as you said, it's a real cross section of Rome in the year 79. And I think I don't think we ever really. I've never seen Rome in this way, where you get all the inner workings of the city, and then you've got sort of Tenax working his way through all the other characters, kind of, maybe gluing it all together, and yeah, he's the kind of link from the underworld all the way to the top.
And obviously, talking about your character, Tenax, I mean, I know that you played Ramsay in Game of Thrones, so in a way, period drama and epic sets is something that you have been a little bit familiar with. But what was it about this particular character that you really liked? I mean, made you want to step forward with it?
I think first of all, it's just he's a very ruthless character. He's grown up on the streets, and he's had to fight his way to get to where he is, and that's so interesting in itself. And but he's not a monster. He's a product of his environment, and that's quite fun to play. But I think the real interesting dynamic within him is he looks up at this patrician class that sort of own the factions and run the racing and stuff, and he kind of despises them, but it's with an envy. And because he wants that for himself, he despises them, but he kind of wants to be one. And he wants to play them at their own game, but for someone like him, a plebeian, it's impossible. It's just unheard of. It's not going to happen. But he's got the ambition and the guile to give it a go, and he's willing to try. And even though it's absurd and no one's ever done it before, he wants to do it. And I think that ambition is a fun part to play. And it's just the way that he's just constantly running around, spinning plates, trying to stop everyone else from messing up his grand plan, and then having to think quickly and then change the plan and then do something else and just do whatever's necessary. And then you see how it just starts to close in, and people get desperate, and then that's when the real event happens. And it's a really fun character to play. Very, and he looks after the kids, so he's actually a nice guy.
And for you, Sara, playing Keller, you're kind of this warrior and this mother. Can you tell us a bit about your journey in this and what appealed to you and how you prepared for that role?
Well, you just described her with the two words I would have said: warrior and mother. That's the alpha and omega. So she's a trader living in the media, and she's forced to arrive in Rome because, unfortunately, her children have been arrested and taken to Rome as slaves and gladiators. So starting from there, she's only driven by the idea of saving them. And yes, she's a warrior because she has to fight every day, every second, every minute, not using weapons, but she's mentally really, really strong because she never settles and cries. She doesn't take no as an answer. She's an example to me now.
These are very strong characters that you play, and you can take from Cleopatra and such, but they're based solely as well on a historical fact as well. Did either of you kind of delve into history things to kind of prepare for your roles?
A little bit. I didn't go down the textbook route, but because there's a lot of traveling involved, I found this incredible podcast called The History of Rome. Well, I didn't find it. Dimitri suggested it to me because I just wanted to have a sort of a basis and an understanding of the world, because you know stuff about the Roman Empire, but you don't really because you think, oh, how did Rome start? Who was the first emperor? How did it change from being a republic to being an empire? And then all of a sudden, it was like, great. So I listened to that loads, and then that helped me sort of map out you know, moments when he was born, who was emperor during this part of his life. Oh, and then there's the year of the four emperors. So that must have had a significant impact on how, you know, he must have made his move then and then under Vespasian, and how he could have benefited from a period of relative peace. And yeah, so that's what I kind of did, because it just really helped me get my head into what had happened before, because otherwise you just, yeah, I don't know. And I found it very, very interesting.
What was it like working with Roland Emmerich, you know, in the driving seat as director, and then having this brilliant ensemble cast? And, you know, that includes also Sir Anthony Hopkins as well.
Obviously, I was a little bit shy at first and thrilled working with Roland, such a master. And then when you're on set, you realize he had put his trust on you and do it. And when he's behind the screen, he's like a kid. He's the first audience of his show. He has settled everything for you to deliver. He's not trying to control you, or not at all. He's not giving much notes, but when he gives one, it's a good one. So the thing, it's you had to really, really keep up with him, because I don't know how his brain functions. He can see everything in a big scale, and he's really, really fast. So many times while finishing a scene onto the other scene, usually actors are asked to, you know, leave the set, get prepared, have a bit of rest. And no. We were staying on the set and listening what Roland had prepared for the next scene, because then it goes really, really fast. That was our way to, okay, that's what's gonna happen. But no, I loved it from A to Z.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's very fast, and you've got to stick with it. And Marco is a fantastic director as well. And of course, we had a phenomenal cast, and I was very lucky. Pretty much had scenes with absolutely everyone. For Anthony Hopkins, except for Sir Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, he's the one I didn't have a scene with. Yeah. It was a rather devastating realization for a Welsh actor that you're not going to be allowed to work with basically your god. And so, yeah, that was a bit disappointing for me personally. I was like, "Oh, you're doing a film, you're working with Anthony Hopkins." Yeah. What's he like? Well, actually, I'm not working with Anthony Hopkins. But yeah, it's amazing to have him. You know, Jojo and Tom. I spent a lot of time with them, obviously, in Rome, and got to live vicariously through them. He was a legend, and everything that I heard about him was just so cool. I met him briefly, but yeah, that was the best I got. I did ask for a scene. I did ask, but I was shut down very, very quickly. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, that's 10-page two-hander would be lovely. But the whole cast, you know, everybody's fantastic. Everyone came in. It was a really good atmosphere between the cast. Everybody, came in and worked really hard, and it's lovely to be part of that.
Oh, well, I think it's amazing. I mean, it was so epic, wonderful. I really enjoyed it. And good luck with it all. I'm sure everyone enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you very much.